Hey, good morning, Jacques. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm talking to Garth Brooks.
Entering his second year as the LSU head football coach.
It was the only way I could get a foot in the door.
Joined by the icon, Kim Mulkey. Hey, Coach, great to see you.
Well, Amani Bartlett has been a big member and an important piece of the LSU women's basketball family for almost 4 years now. Her senior day is coming up at the PMAC. Amani, great to see you. Thanks for making time for us.
Got you.
Appreciate it. You have unique perspective.
Yes. Oh, Jesus. A lot of perspective.
So you came here at the same time Kim Mulkey did. Mm-hmm. So you two have come in together, and your careers at LSU have really run parallel, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. They have. I actually got here, a week before school started. So
in the
it
fall
was really
of
quick.
2020.
I graduated at 21.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was here a week before. I came in the exact same time that Alexis Morris came in. And we literally, it was so crazy how it happened. We got here literally like a week before school started and had to get everything together.
What did you sense right away from Coach Mulkey? Because that first team's very important.
Right.
Because if the Cherries and the Faustina Fuas and the Kayla Pointers say, hey, we're not doing this and leave, it's a whole different story.
Yeah. The first thing I actually noticed coming here with Coach Mulkey was her passion. Like, I feel like her first year, she was kind of, let me get a feel. I know this is a new thing for me. I'm coming from Baylor, where I was just a Hall of Fame coach, all-time coach. I was comfortable there. So I'm coming into a new setting. I got these new seniors. I have a whole new team. I have to get a feel for it. But while she was doing that, you could see the passion behind it. Like, she's intense no matter what. So she came in kind of like, all right, I'm going to be calm at first, but as soon as it was time to get started, that passion came out immediately. That intensity came out immediately. She showed like, hey, I'm intense about this sport. I'm passionate. I want y'all to be too. I want y'all to run through a wall for me as well. So that was the first thing I noticed when I came here with Coach Mulkey. And
I was having Grant refresh my memory. I said, was she recruited by Fargus or by Mulkey? You were recruited by Mulkey.
I was recruited by both, actually.
Okay.
Coach Nikki recruited me all through like middle school, going through high school. And LSU was where I wanted to be, actually. I was going to commit to Coach Fargus. But some things happened between there, and I end up not. And like you may know, I committed to Syracuse. Well, when my Syracuse coach had got fired, Coach Mulkey and her staff were the first to really just call. And like, hey, we want to get you up here. We would like you to come to LSU. We're looking at you. And I was like, I don't need to come to LSU. I've already seen it. I know what LSU is about. I just need to get to know you guys. And so it was like a short, little, quick Zoom call. And like, what really got to me was the fact that Coach Mulkey talked about family. Everybody else was like what I could do for them on the court. And she got me when she started talking about my grandmother, my mom, like those most important, not only women figures in my life, but my dad, my uncles. Like, she started talking about my family. She wanted to get to know my family. Why? Because she felt like if I can get to know the people around you, they'll help me understand you better. And so that was what got me.
And something rare that she does is the Family Day game, in which she pretty much sacrifices the halftime for any kind of pep talk or any kind of strategic. The whole halftime is spent acknowledging every player, not just the seniors, and bringing their families out onto the court. And you guys did that again this year.
So she emphasizes family. That's something that's a core for not only LSU, but a core for Coach Mulkey. She always tells you to put your family first in every situation, every aspect of your life. Your family comes first, and she shows it. Like, she always has her son and daughter, grandchildren. They're always at the game. They're always supporting, and she kind of instilled that in us. Like, family that's your support system. You got to put them first. They're the people who's going to be with you when you're at your lowest. So
well, and then when she goes up against opposing coaches who are either pregnant or just had children, she gives them gifts and talks to them about being a mother and those kind of things.
So that's something she values. That's something she really does value.
Yeah. And she's also said, hey, look, I want coaches with families to coach. You know, it can be done. It's difficult, but
And she allows them to do that, bring their family around. If you have something to do with your family, go do that. She makes it, like I said, that's something that she values, and she instills that in all of us.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I picked up on Coach Mulkey is obviously she's a grinder, but when it's off season and it's time to go to the beach, it's time to do that.
Yep, it's time to relax. And she says it all the time. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to rest. It's okay to regroup, go away for a second. And she's allowed us to do that. Since I've been here, for the 4 years that I've been here, she's always, summertime, y'all need to take a break. I'm not gonna make y'all come up here and work out as soon as we get done. No, you need a break. Why? Because the season is so long and it's hard, not only physically, but mentally. And if I can't get you at peace mentally, how can I get you physically? So.
Yeah. And you've stayed the whole 4 years. Mm-hmm. You're from Texas.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of colleges in Texas that would have said, hey, Amani, you can come start for us.
Yeah.
You can play a lot more minutes. Why don't you come, make a move?
Yeah.
But you stayed. Well, why did you stay?
And a lot of people say that. A lot of people have that question of why did I stay with Coach Mulkey? And I think the biggest thing is because she took care of me. Like even in the hard times when I wasn't playing or I honestly felt some type of way about not getting on the court. She helped me so much off the court, but also to grow as a woman. Like the woman that I am, she's been that mother away from home. Like I can't even explain how many times that woman has done something. I'm just like, dang, like she didn't have to do this for me. Like I'll just give y'all a little insight. Like I had a family issue going on at home where something major happened to one of my family members, got in an accident, was rushed to the hospital, whatever. It was the middle of the season. And I literally walked outside of the PMAC and was boohoo crying. She was the first person to pick up the phone and call and say, go home. And so like just little things like that is just like, that's bigger than basketball to me. It's like, it's life. You're gonna help me in life. And yes, like basketball is my dream and all of that, but like at the end of the day, the basketball is gonna stop bouncing. And so I feel like she's instilled those core values and memories and lessons into me to where I feel like I'll be set outside of this.
And you would know just about better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you hear some things that are said about her, do you kind of roll your eyes and just like
she says, I don't have social media, so I don't see it. And if I don't see it, I'm good. So if she's good, I'm good too. Like she kind of teaches us ignore that. Don't look at that. Like that's not something that, it shouldn't bother you. Yeah. Let the naysayers say what they're going to say. Let the haters hate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, when you win that much too,
mm-hmm.
Nobody has anything to say about teams that are losing. Like, oh, I can't stand them when they're 5-20.
Right. Everybody's going to talk about a winner, so.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. And so you suck it out here. Your senior day is coming up.
Yes.
Now you're probably going to host in the NCAA tournament, so there's going to be games coming up.
It's not going to be the last time you play in the PMAC. So.
It won't be the last time, but it'll be the true last home game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It hasn't hit yet, honestly. I think it will hit once. The recap videos come or the walking out with your family and the cries from the coaches. I think that's when it'll hit. But as of right now, it hasn't hit that I'm a senior. It's more of like, okay, like I'm still here. We still kicking, we still rocking, we're still rolling, we're still playing. So it hasn't just hit home that, dang, this is your last time in the PMAC.
Yeah. I want to go back kind of to the beginning. So I mentioned that first team. Tell me about that first team here. Autumn Newby, I think she was recruited by Fargus. So, she had to get on board what was going on. Yep. And I think you'd won 9 games the season before. Mm-hmm. And then you win close to 30. And you're hosting the NCAA tournament. Yep. And really kind of squeezed every bit of talent out of that first roster. What do you remember about that first team?
That team was crazy, honestly. I mean, you had KP, like you said, Foss. They were big factors for me, honestly. Between KP and Foss, those were my mentors. Those were my leaders. They kind of took me under their wing. That team, I could honestly say that team was optimistic in every situation because we were the underdogs. Like you said, we only won 9 games the season before. So nobody believed that we could come out and do that, especially let's just talk about Cherry. Cherry did a whole 360 and everybody was like, wow, I didn't know Cherry could do that. But that goes to show who Coach Mulkey is. she brought that confidence out of her. You can do this too. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. You can be whatever you want to be. And she kind of took on that role with that team. And I think once she showed the seniors, like, I'm for y'all, it showed on the court. And that's how we were able to make it to the tournament.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I saw Coach Mulkey on campus. He was at an LSU softball game, and Cherry was there, and I could see him from a distance, and Mulkey was talking to her, and then she was like making defensive stances, and this is how you got to slide, and this is how you got to defend. And I think Coach Mulkey said there was this perception that I'm going to come in and just run everybody off because they haven't been winning. I'm not going to do that. I didn't recruit these players for the most part. But
she was very appreciative of them. She was always appreciative. She always told them after every single game. I never forgot, like, the time she didn't thank her seniors. I thank y'all for coming back. Why? Because y'all didn't have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, these are my players, she said. And so you made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. The second year, there's, I believe, 7 players that came in out of the portal.
Yes.
And I remember them saying this Angel Reese has the potential to be an All-American, like, program-changing player. You're good friends with Angel.
Yeah.
Angel's taken you a lot of places, hasn't
she? Yes.
You've lived a good life with hanging out with Angel, and I know you guys have a great relationship. Just real quick on her, because she, like Coach Mulkey, a lot of different things have been said about Angel. How would you sum up Angel as a friend and as a player?
Oh, there's no words to describe her. Angel is such – everybody needs an Angel. And when I say everybody needs an Angel, she's not only that friend that's going to help you in those tough times, but she's that friend that just brings a light. Angel is somebody who, when you're crying, hey, we're not finna cry. She'll just give you a joke and make you laugh. Like, that's the type of person she is. She'll be going through her own stuff and you'll never know it. That girl is a soldier. Like, she really is, because at 22 years old, let's just say 20 years old when she was here, she took on a lot. There was a lot of, like, negativity towards her, and I could honestly sit here and say she really took that on. Hey, I'm good, I can do this. And she's just a light. Like, she's that teammate that you always want on your team. Why? Because she's gonna make you go hard. Hey, don't listen to what they're saying. That missed shot don't mean nothing. Come back and come do this. Like, you can do this. That don't matter. Come on. She gonna bring you on her back, and that just goes to show who she is. She's always been that loving, supporting, caring person, and she's very selfless. It's always, I'm going to think of everyone around me before I think of myself, and that's just who Angel is.
And that might be the opposite of what some people think.
Yes. I feel like social media doesn't get a true picture of who Angel is, because social media doesn't do justice for who that woman is.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine, just on my very, 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 very low level of being a public figure, you can read a couple of comments on a Facebook post or whatever, and that can, if you let it can take your day off track. I can only imagine with the just enormous amount of interactions Angel Reese draws online, that if she's not careful, she can waste her whole day
looking at it.
Right. Getting involved. But she's taking the league by storm, obviously, and this new league that's going on too, right, on the side.
Oh my gosh, she's doing her big one. I'm so proud of her.
And so that team with now Morris had played on the first team.
The first team, yeah.
And that was a big reason why I think she got hurt late in the season. If she would have been totally healthy, you might have. I don't know. Ohio State was pretty tough that night, but you would have had a better shot if she would have been healthy. Talk to me about Alexis real quick, because this was like down the stretch of all those games that year. Put it in her hands.
Yeah.
She's either going to get fouled, make both free throws. She's either going to score, or she's going to dish to LaDeja or to Angel to score as well.
Alexis was a point guard. Man, she was different. Alexis was definitely different. She had a different personality, for sure. But she was another one you wanted on your team. Why? Because Alexis not only scores and does what she needs to do, she made everyone around her better. Like you said, LaDeja, I'm going to give you that dump-off pass. You just get your hands ready and be ready. I'm going to make it easier for you. And that just goes to show the type of point guard that she was. She made all of us around, like, just look at the national championship game. Yeah. Look at that little stretch that we had going from the first and second round here all the way to the end. It was Alexis Morris who controlled our team. She was our head honcho. She was our leader. Yes, Angel did her part, but Alexis, she did too. Go back and watch film. She did what she had to do. So I respect her, loved her as a point guard, loved her as a person. So I just appreciate her. And if we could get another Alexis Morris, hey, come on. We need it.
Yeah, she's special. Harlem Globetrotter these days,
Oh,
right?
yes. When I seen that, I was like, oh, God, Lex would do anything. But, hey, that's Lex.
You see that and you say, oh, that's something, but that's perfect at the same time, right? That's right up her alley. And LaDasia Williams, and this is not a knock on her, she just was a pretty quiet, reserved, kind of like Simone. And
silent assassin.
People said Simone and LaDasia, they kind of looked alike, and they do. And it's funny too that they kind of have a similar personality, where they're they don't need all the spotlight and all that.
Yeah.
But without LaDasia Williams, it was the Utah game, I believe.
Oh gosh.
That she
stepped up big time for that game.
Sweet 16 game.
Yep, I remember that game when that girl missed that free throw. Ooh.
Yeah.
I remember when she missed that free throw, and we was like, oh, Jesus, thank God. We all was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Because I think, was it KP and Flau'jae that fouled out with that game?
Yeah.
They fouled out that game, and we were like, Jesus, it's the last. Come on. And I think LaDasia, she stepped up big time. That was the grandma of the team. That was our old woman. We love LaDasia.
Well, and Coach Mulkey and Bob Starkey both told me they felt Utah was the best team you played in the tournament that year. And I don't want to use the word luck, but every championship team has to have something kind of go their way. And I believe the young lady who stepped to the line, she was shooting 80-90% from the free throw line.
Yes.
And she airballs the first one. It's like, holy cow.
She airballs. I think the moment was too big. The moment had to be too big, because when that happened, we was like, no way. No way. No way she just did this, but hey.
And she missed the second one, and I think Utah kind of had the rebound, and it was about to put it, and I think maybe LaDasia knocked it out. Somebody knocked it out there, and then you go on to win the game.
Yep.
But wow, what a crazy game.
Yeah, she stepped up. She stepped up big time in the tournament. She really did. And like I said, she was a silent assassin. She was in the back seat, but hey, she did a lot back there.
Yeah, she was around that free throw line. Such a pretty shot.
A nice up and under little fake. Yep, that was LaDasia, old school day.
Yeah. Came from Missouri, played at Missouri, and then came to LSU. In her 1 year, wow, she made the most of it.
Yep.
You get by Miami. That was an ugly game.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
That was the game Mulkey on national TV said, I apologize for the people watching this. It was it was a rough game, but defense, right? I mean, I think you held them to 45 points or something like that to make it to the Final Four. What do you remember about going to the Final Four in Dallas? Because you're basically in your home state, home area, and here you are playing, in the Final Four.
It was surreal. Like, it happened so fast. We left South Carolina. I think we came back for I don't know. It was so quick, a quick turnaround. And we were in Dallas, and we were talking about playing Virginia Tech. And we were like, okay, we just got to get past this game. We weren't even looking. Like, the thing about that year is we did not expect to win. We were we're the underdogs. We just got 7 new transfers. This is a whole new team. We're not supposed to do none of this. So if we go far, hey, kudos to us. But it was just crazy how all of that happened. It was literally like a movie. It was unreal. Like you said, the Utah game, how does somebody airball a free throw? You're just that doesn't happen. So going to the Final Four in Dallas is just man, we had 4 girls from Texas that year. Me, Samaya, Lisa, and Alexis. We were all from Texas. We were all Texas kids. And then, of course, Coach Mulkey and them coming from Waco. That was home for them, too. And we was we got to pull this off. It's Alexis' senior year. We in Texas. We got to do this. So playing Virginia Tech and getting past them, it was we were watching the Iowa and South Carolina game. I would never forget this. We were sitting in the stands right after our game. Yeah. And we were all sitting by our families. Everybody sitting in the stands. And we were watching the game, and as soon as South Carolina lost, he was we won. We got it. We won. Because we were so connected and so together as a team. We was just we can beat them. We can beat them. We can beat Iowa. And so that's kind of what it was. And we had if you just go back and look at that arena, we had so many people pulling for us. People from near, people from far, just supporting us. Hey, we with y'all. Come on. We finna do it. We all gonna win this. It's all of us. And to see once we won how many people we actually did that for, how many people we helped, it was crazy. Just a story the other day, I don't know, I forgot, I can't remember her name. I think her name is Karen McCord. Her daughter had passed.
Carly.
Yes.
Carly McCord.
She was telling us, she was saying, y'all don't know how much y'all helped me just by coming to the Final Four. And it's just like to hear that and see how many people we help just by doing something we love is just like, hey, that's what it's for. That's who we do it for at the end of the day.
I had no idea. It's a great story. I knew Carly pretty well. She worked in the media and was a very hard worker. I mean, she'd be at a high school game on Friday night, and then on Saturday you'd see her at a college football game, and then Sunday you'd see her in the Superdome doing stuff with the Saints. She was a hustler. She was very intelligent, had a great presence on the air, and we were in Atlanta about to cover LSU and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson play Oklahoma in the semifinal, and that's the day that the plane crashed, and it was such this great day for LSU, but at the same time kind of a dark cloud over it, and just a really combination of crazy emotions that day. We miss Carly for sure. Her mother's done an amazing job of continuing her legacy and moving that forward. Like you said, you beat Virginia Tech. Georgia Moore, you're still bumping into her these days. She's playing at Kentucky, and the coach of Virginia Tech is now the coach at
Kentucky.
At Kentucky. And throughout the tournament, the three-pointers just were not going down. You know, they were just not going down. And it's so crazy that in the biggest game of the year,
they went down that time.
Jasmine Carson just cannot miss. She cannot miss. I mean, she can literally throw it over her head from half court and it's going in. I mean, how do you explain that? And just her performance, her last game as a Tiger, to shoot the ball the way she did that day.
Honestly, she was in a slump. Like you said, it was just like nothing was falling for her. Like none of the threes were falling for her the whole tournament. And we just kept saying, do what you do. You're a shooter, shoot. It don't matter how many you miss. We know what you can do. Shoot the ball. And I think before that last game, Coach Mulkey kind of gave us a pep talk, and she kind of told everybody, hey, come on. Like, I believe in y'all. We can do this. And Angel, like I said, Angel's that teammate you always want. She kind of went to each and every one of our key players and said, hey, you got to step up. Do what you do. It doesn't matter. We're the underdogs. We can do this. We can do this. And she kind of put that confidence into everyone. And I think when she talked to Jasmine, I don't know, it was just like when Jasmine came on the court, she was on and popping. She was ready. Like you said, she came in, she was just lighting up. And it's like, everybody was looking like how y'all was like, dang, like we was like that too. Like, hey, come on, keep shooting the ball. We finna get you the ball. You got the hot hand. We need you to hit those threes. And that's what she did. She showed up when it was time for her to show up. And hey, we got a ring for it.
And just so we remember, you know, last year Poa and her importance to this team in that game, I mean, she's guarding Caitlin Clark a lot and got her in foul trouble. And then I think Poa was left over for a couple of threes that she made. That was big in the game as well. I remember just being in that arena. I've been fortunate to go to a lot of championship games and big-time atmospheres. That was one of the more intense I'd ever been in. I mean, everybody who had a ticket to that game was invested and loud.
Gosh,
I mean, it was 18,000 people on fire the whole afternoon.
Whole game. It was so, I remember, I'll never forget this. We were in the huddle, and Coach Mulkey was trying to draw up something. I don't even remember. And she was just like, oh my gosh, it's so loud in here. Like, y'all got to get in here and listen. Like, and we genuinely could not hear. Like, we like, Coach, we can't hear you. So she started making hand signals. Like, this is what this means. This is what, like, telling us what plays means, because we really could not hear. It was so loud. But she was like, hey, I thank them fans every day, because it was like we was in the PMAC. So.
And we had some of the best media seats ever. I mean, we were literally right behind the bench. So they put us right there. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm at the national championship. I'm literally like 15 feet from watching Kim Mulkey coach the team and coach you guys. And an amazing afternoon. Iowa made a charge in the third quarter, but you guys didn't hold them off. And then you're national champs. And kind of like you said, I mean, that year watching that team, I said, Elite Eight might be the ceiling for this team.
Nobody believed.
And to win the whole thing and be cutting down the nets, what was that feeling like when the confetti is coming from the ceiling and everything, and you're a national champion?
It was crazy, because it was like that team that year, we were so just together. We worked so hard. Like, practices were fun. Like, yes, it was hard work, but we had fun. Like, you seen it. You seen the social media posts, the little TikToks, the little Instagram. Like, you seen it. That was genuinely fun. So, like, when we won, it was just like, we did it. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, we did it. And like, even though that confetti was dropping and all that, it still wasn't real. I don't think it hit home for a lot of us till we came back and we did the parade, and you could see like how everybody was like, hey, like, we're so proud of y'all. Like, y'all did this. Like I said, it was bigger than us at that point. But it was like, it was so surreal. You can't even explain the feeling, because it was just like an unreal feeling when the confetti dropped, when Coach Mulkey and Fly J started hugging before the game even ended. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, and Coach Money, she eventually got on the floor. They didn't let her on the floor. Of course, she wasn't on the staff that day. Simone Augustus was there, and I don't blame the security. They don't know all the famous athletes, but eventually she got on the floor to celebrate with you. I mean, Tamika Johnson, who's behind you right there. Remember seeing her at the game.
Yeah.
And she was so happy, and so all the great players who played here had been on great teams and made it to Final Fours, but couldn't get over the hump. That was a special day for all of them as well.
Yes, they talk about it all the time. They say, and we thank them all the time too. We're like, y'all paved the way for us to do this. At the end of the day, like, y'all did this. And so this is our thank you, our appreciation to y'all. This is for not only y'all, but this is for the city of Baton Rouge. This is for LSU. This is for everybody. And so when Coach Money came and was like, hey, like, y'all did it. It was crazy to me to see her. I'm like, oh, Lord, this is Simone. This is Simone Augustus. But yeah, so she was there. Like you said, Tamika was there. It was a lot of alumni there. Yeah, it was a lot of them there. And they were just happy to do it. They were happy to be there. Hey, we right here with y'all. They were coming to the hotel. They were at like the Sweet 16 games, at the Elite 8 games. They were just supporting us just like everybody else. Yeah,
and the more recent players, Kayla Pointer and Autumn Newby, I would see them up in the stands.
They were at all the games too.
They were traveling with you guys as well. Making all the trips, and like you said, the parade was a magical day. It felt like you came down the hill. Felt like I was getting ready to cover an LSU football game. When the team comes down the hill, and there were thousands of people out there.
It was so many people out there, like so many people.
And Coach Mulkey was in tears. I mean, she literally was like looking at all the fans, getting very emotional. About what you guys had done.
Yeah.
There is no negative in that, but the negative is you did it too fast, too soon. I mean, national championship in the second year. And so what did you learn? Like last year, you have a great year. You go to the Elite 8. You beat a UCLA team that has been number one a lot of the year this year.
Yeah.
And on paper, it looks like, okay, we added Haley Van Lith. We added Anissa Morrow. We got Angel Reese back. We have all these people back. Hey, just give them the title.
Yeah.
But that's not the way it works.
Yeah. That year, like you said, you win some, you lose some, but we fought to the bitter end. We did. And it just wasn't meant for us, but that team was a team that I'll forever appreciate. Because like you said, we had Haley, we had Angel, and they really were leaders on that team. Like Haley, I have the utmost respect for both of them. Why? Because they got so much backlash every time we did something. Like, it was them two who were getting the bad end of the stick every time. And they took it on, hey, I got it. It's good. This is my team. This is what we're doing. I take this team over anybody, any day.
Well, and if you get a little bit of higher seed, you're playing Iowa maybe at the Final Four and not the Elite 8. I think a lot of people felt like this was a Final Four game, not a Elite 8 game. I mean, the Elite 8's really good to make it that far, obviously. That hadn't happened before you got here, 2008, I think, was the last time. So a long time had gone by. So you make it that far and whatnot. But, I remember that game. Angel came out like a house of fire, and she turned her ankle or something.
It was actually on the camera. One of the camera guys or whatever had his like extra camera on the ground, and when she went up and came back down, she kind of turned her ankle on, and it was like, but I can honestly say she pushed through. She did.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't me and my camera. I don't want to be blamed for anything. I just want to stay out of the way. I don't want to be part of the story.
I
don't want to be part of that. So now moving into this year, down the stretch, it seems like you and Anissa Morrow are good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa, I think, is going to go down as one of the greatest players in LSU history. She didn't play 4 years here. She'll play 2. But there are a few players that do as much as she does, as well as she does, and she is just a nonstop engine. I mean, she's relentless.
Yes, she has a motor. That's one kid that she works hard. every single day. In the game, in practice, in film. Like, she's somebody who, she's just, like you said, an engine, a motor. She keeps going, and she works so hard. Like, you can never take anything away from her, because she's going to think, I can outwork you. And she does. She works really hard.
Yeah. A few more things. Let's talk about Flage.
Oh, Fly. I love Fly, my little rapper, my little baby. Flage, she stepped up big time this year. She took on that leadership role, like, I'm gonna be a leader of the team. I'm gonna do that. And she kinda helps, we call her, she's the little guard coach. She kinda helps her little guards, like the freshman Jada. She took her under her wing, and of course her and Michaela are really good friends, and she's done that. And even when we have a tough time this year, she's always like, I gotta step up, I gotta be better. Like, she kinda chooses the team over herself a lot, and I could see the maturity not only in her but in her game. Yeah. And so I can honestly say I'm proud of Flage. She stepped up big time, and she took on that role. Yeah,
I can't wait to see if she can be like a touring rap act and also play in the WNBA and all this different stuff. That's gonna be interesting to watch. And then we could talk about Michaela, but she's amazing. When Michaela's done with
now, that's my baby right there. Michaela, that's my baby. She, like, to see her game this year, it has matured so much. Like, she is so, like, I tell her all the time, you don't understand how much you've matured as a person, but how your game has matured. And you're only a sophomore. You're doing it as a sophomore. And I feel like sometimes she doesn't get the recognition she deserves, because she does a lot for us. When we need her to play the 4, she's going to play the 4. When we need her to play the point guard, she's going to play the point guard. She doesn't complain. She doesn't really ask any questions. She just goes out and she does what she has to do for the team. And I feel like sometimes that goes unrecognized, because she actually does so much for us. She's a big part in our team this year.
Awesome. Let's wrap in the final. Probably going to host NCAA tournament games in the PMAC, and just the evolution of the fan base, because I had a guy who's a big women's basketball fan, like the year before, or he said, I'm here, I'm bored, and I counted, there's 323 people here, you know? And so by the time you play in South Carolina your first year, you've got a packed house. So just the evolution, not only of people showing up, but it's like every game's like a Mardi Gras parade to an extent. Mm-hmm. It's dressing up, it's glitter, it's fat heads, it's signs, it's really, you know, it's not just a crowd, it's an event.
Yeah, so what I want to say is, I thank these fans, I really do. And I appreciate y'all's support, because it's like, when we go to other places or we go to other arenas, it's not like that for women's basketball. It's not at all. And to have sold out crowds, or these big crowds, even in small games, it's just like, thank you. Like, really, thank you, because we got to be grateful for that, because some people don't have that. And then even my first year, when Coach Mulkey first came, to see from Nikki Fargas and those fans to how many fans Coach Mulkey has, and she hasn't even done anything yet, it's just like, Jesus Christ. And it just started to grow from there. Like, it just kept going. And it became like, hey, these are y'all's girls. Like, yeah, Coach Mulkey would say, this is y'all's team. And she always does that, and the fans take on that role. They take care of us. Like, they do. They see us out and about, hey, y'all good? Yeah, all right. Like, and it's just like that. Let me give you a hug. Let me touch you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's been that. It's, like I said, it's a family. And so she's created that environment here. And we thank the fans all the time. Like, we appreciate y'all for coming to the games and supporting us, because it means a lot.
Well, I appreciate you. And I sincerely mean this. This is one of the best interviews I've ever done.
Oh, thank you.
You are, you light up the camera. You're articulate. You've got a great personality. I think you want to, you're in mass communication.
Mass comm, yes.
Just don't take my job. Go take someone else's. But you've got a bright future.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amani.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you and the Tigers down the stretch. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Take care.